This is the Roller and the Stroller podcast. I'm Josiah, the roller, and I was born with cerebral palsy and navigate the world in a wheelchair alongside my best friend Kelly, the stroller.
In this podcast, we discuss living with a disability, adapting to surroundings in a wheelchair, and the challenges we face together. We talk about things like going to concerts, traveling, everyday tasks, and sports.
But also get into deeper topics like religion, self-talk, medical needs, and some of the frustrations of using a wheelchair. We will give insight on how to enjoy life with a disability
and share advice on how to understand someone with a disability.
Welcome to the Roller and the Stroller.
This podcast is a Sidewallstudios production. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Roller and the Stroller.
I'm Josiah, your resident roller.
And I'm Kelly, and I am your stroller. Today, we are on camera.
Yeah!
How do you feel about that?
We are going to try it out so you can see clips of us on the internet and our Instagram.
We hope. If not, apologies for me, but you look fly right now.
Oh, thank you.
You look so nice. You look so good.
And I'm very excited because today we are talking about one of my favorite things to do and one of your favorite things to do.
Yes.
Traveling.
We talked about this in our very, very first episode about how we were going to get into this.
Here it is, baby.
Here it is. This is so much fun. We're actually going on a trip this summer. This will be
several.
Oh,
to be determined. We got to get it together.
Mm-hmm. So obviously the way that you travel is totally different than the way that I traveled. And to be honest, I wouldn't say I took it for granted. I would just say I was going to learn today when I first traveled with you. My view on traveling has completely changed. Even when I'm not traveling with you, I'm still looking for things.
Would you say it has changed for a better?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. No, it's gotten crabbier.
Oh, no.
No, just kidding. So I would like to talk about our first trip ever together because we've taken several, and I want to talk about it from my point of view. But before we get into that, I want you to read off your notes and kind of discuss what you wanted to discuss.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to split it up into air travel, ground travel, and public travel, which means shuttles, buses, that kind of thing, while using a wheelchair. And some of the things that I consider, some of the things that I've learned, and then I have some questions for you at the end, which are going to be really fun. But before I even do that, I would like to say my musical reference today is a band called Silverstein, who I have loved for a long time. And they released a new song called Poison Pill, and it's pretty rad, so you should check it out. You, meaning the listener, and also Kelly.
Yeah, my bad. I haven't listened to it yet. It'd be like that.
It'd be like that
So
sometimes.
what's your reference? Poison Pill?
Poison Pill. That's the name of the song.
What does it have to do with anything? Miracle Poison? Cusco's Poison? Are we going back to that?
Cusco's Poison. It's just the name of the song.
Oh, I thought it was going to relate to traveling.
Nope.
Oh. Okay. All right. Well, never mind.
So I kind of wanted to talk about air travel first. Because because we've been on a plane together, I am terrified of takeoff and landing. Well, first of all, my wheelchair is gone below deck with all of the luggage that was checked. So I am without my wheelchair, and it's scary, but it doesn't make any sense how a plane is able to lift off and land safely. That doesn't make any sense to me. I have to be honest with you. I know there's a whole bunch of physics behind it, probably based on what they're telling us.
Bro.
It's like a 30-ton contraption vehicle that is magically supposed to lift off 30,000 feet into the air. No. Okay, so takeoff and landing freak me out the most because we speed up to abnormal speeds, speeds that we would not drive in a car.
I don't know. I can't confirm.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
But don't forget, you have to hold my hand
I know.
Every time.
I know, and it annoys you, so I'm sorry.
It does not annoy me. It's super adorable. The first time I was like, what the frick? But afterwards, I just put out my hand. I'm like, here you go.
Okay. Thank you. So, but the reason is I'm afraid because it doesn't make any sense. But also, as I said before, my wheelchair's gone. So I feel like when I'm in an airplane, I feel stuck because there's no aisle chair allowed on board either. In case of emergency, they tell you if shit goes down, like this is what's gonna happen. Me sans my wheelchair, I'm like, okay, but what does that mean for me? So that's why I'm kind of scared in an airplane, because I am without my wheelchair, if that makes sense.
No, it totally makes sense. I mean, I am not in a wheelchair, but I feel like if the plane, God forbid, something would happen, I don't think I would survive either.
Yeah. No. Oops.
Anyway, we're going on a trip on an airplane, so let's maybe not talk about that right now.
We are. Positive vibes.
Positive vibes. But I want to talk to you about, like, because people sometimes have to go to the bathroom, obviously. What do you do if you have to go to the bathroom? Because for those of you that don't know, Josiah has to use an aisle chair. They have to bring it down from, I don't know, the magical aisle chair heaven. Like Frontier Airlines or United or whoever, they come out with this chair out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. And they strap you in it, which is the only time I've seen you wear your seatbelt. And then they push you down the little aisle thing.
The ramp
thing. What is that called? The runway?
The runway.
Yeah.
I think Project Runway.
I was thinking lacrosse. That's a runway pocket. Anyway, okay. So then they put you in the chair and then they take the little chair away. They put you in the airplane and then they take the chair away. So what if you have to go to the bathroom?
So I'm going to tell you a story. One time, this has only happened to me once or twice, but one time I remember vividly because I was coming home from college. It was during spring break, and I just found out I was going to be a resident assistant during my senior year. Really exciting. Doesn't really have anything to do with the story. However, I had known two people on the flight with me. They weren't sitting next to me, but I had known them, and one of the people that I knew was behind me, and I had to go to the bathroom when we were mid-air so badly that I could not hold it. And so I was like, I flagged the person behind me and was like, excuse me, I gotta release the Kraken here. And so he had to heft me by my armpits, and we had to what is that movement called? Shimmy? But it's not really like it's waddling. Would you call that waddling?
Penguining.
It's like one leg in front of the other.
Sure. I'm walking.
Yeah. So basically, he had to shimmy me by my armpits because he was not strong enough to lift me up, and I was like heavier at the time. That was the only time that I had to do that, and I had to go past these aisles and aisles of people because I had to go to the lavatory, and the lavatory is in the front and in the back. So if you're in the middle like I was, you're traveling either way.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense because I've traveled with you on a plane multiple times, and it makes no sense to me. When we buy our tickets, you check that you're in a wheelchair and that you can't walk. You can't use your legs. It doesn't make sense to me that they don't put you by either the door or the bathroom. Why?
I don't know. And then also, I had to do it another time where I had to crawl on the ground.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
People in wheelchairs have to go to the bathroom. Did you know?
I didn't know that.
And then, so that's what I've had to do. It was honestly at the time, and looking back at it, really embarrassing for the airline.
My grandmother, when she couldn't walk anymore, she would just wear a diaper.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wear diapers.
Hot.
Ladies. But also, the last thing I want to talk about with air travel is my wheelchair, because it's gone, it's below deck, and oftentimes it's broken, or not broken, but just damaged in a way, and there was a whole big lawsuit with wheelchair damage while it's below deck, and that is a thing. It's moving around with all the luggage, and so that is a thing that I consider, but I don't know a way around it, because what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to get a gate check tag, but luckily Fury, my current wheelchair, she titanium, so she's stronger, baby.
She is. Well, it's not yes, your wheelchair can fold up, but it doesn't fold up small enough to put in the overhead bins, nor does it fit down the middle of the aisle on the plane.
It does not.
She too thick.
She a thick.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Airport navigation. Tell me about some difficulties that you've had maybe in some airports.
I have to admit something to the listeners. I am directionally challenged.
Duh. They already know that. I told them that you can't know your left from right
So
when we go
I
grocery shopping.
I think that the only times I've gotten lost in airports have been my fault and not the airport layout itself. TIA, I could navigate that baby in like 20 minutes. Let's go.
Right.
And like I've been to O'Hare in Chicago, Midway in Chicago, couple on the East Coast.
Doesn't Chicago have a bunch of trains? Is that ever a problem
Yeah.
for you?
Nope.
Good.
Well, some of the terminals are wild. They have
Yeah.
the lip. They have to have the lip, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Do people at airports ever ask you if you need assistance?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever take it? No.
sometimes I do.
You do. Oh yeah, Henry said that your little story.
No, so I was talking to a friend of mine during that time. We were walking out together. I was
Oh, I
rolling,
see.
actually, and she was walking.
You weren't walking?
Yeah.
Okay, so but you do take help sometimes.
95% of the time, no, but there will be that occasion where I go, yeah, because I just ate a big ass steak or something. And I don't know.
I need help because I'm full.
I'm full.
Anything else about the airports?
No, I do think it's wild how they don't allow aisle chairs anywhere to be seen. Because if it fits on the airplane, because it obviously does, why can't it just be on the flight?
Maybe they don't want it rolling around hitting people in case there's
It has brakes.
turbulence. I don't know. I'm not
It
a
has brakes.
pilot.
So we need to come up with an innovation
Yes.
tool that will, it's almost like a skateboard is what I'm imagining. And I could just hop on that thing.
Ooh, yeah. That's,
know
a,
what I
real,
mean?
that's a
Like,
really good idea.
We gotta think of a transportable transportation method.
I should just bring my longboard that I totally gave away to Goodwill a few months ago. But we should bring a long.
Andy has it.
No, he doesn't.
Andy,
I should bring it to our flight and just be like, no, we don't need the aisle chair. He's
No,
just gonna
I'm just gonna
shred down the
skateboard.
aisle.
Tony Hawk. And Tony Hawk was in a wheelchair.
That's actually a really good idea.
We could.
But that's a really good idea. I like that.
Cause my knees be hurting.
And sometimes they take forever to get you that aisle chair.
So I am often in the first boarding group on the plane, and then I'm often the last one off the plane. So like if I have a connection flight or anything like that, or we're trying to make a Thrice show or a Silverstein show.
Well, it was the story of the year show that we were almost late for.
I know.
We'll
but
get
we
into that.
made it. Which one were we? We were almost
That
late
was
for
story of
Black
the-
Swan,
Yeah.
which was my album that I wanted to see. And then I wanted to. So you want to talk about like ground transportation?
Ooh,
'Cause
ground.
We have taken flights, but we also have taken road trips.
Yeah. So we've already talked about Lyft and Uber in other episodes. I think it was our Everyday Tasks episode. Let's talk about our road trips because they be painful sometimes.
Yeah. So some of the things that I consider, because I do not drive, is I consider travel time, distance, how long it's going to take to get there. Remember, I wanted to go to like Bryce Canyon one time during 2020, but then COVID hit, and then I recognized it was like 12 hours. And I was like, oh, this is going to take some planning rather than just be like, you want to hop in a car and go to Bryce Canyon?
Yeah.
So travel time, because I don't drive, that often puts the onus or pressure on the person I'm going with. Oftentimes, it's you,
Amy.
Kelly, who I'm looking at, and then you often have to drive us, which I'm very thankful for, but that's one of the things that I consider. Body positioning, which is the next thing I consider, is really important. And you might think, Josiah, you're sitting 10 hours a day in your chair. That still is very painful. This might be a little too much information for the listeners, but some days my butt is sore. And I'm like, I need to change position or move seats or whatever. Oftentimes in a car on a long road trip, that's not possible. I also need to like stretch it out, and when I say stretch it out, it's not like, I just mean my muscles. Sorry.
No,
If that sounded
that
weird.
makes sense because,
Okay.
well, and we talked about in a previous episode, this is just referencing all our previous episodes, so go listen to them if you haven't, but your wheelchair is molded to your booty and a car is not. So it doesn't support you in the way that it needs to support you.
Yeah, that's the thing I consider. And also like pit stops, where the rest stops are like accessible for me to hop out and go to the restroom. Sometimes I have to like, this may be disgusting, but sometimes I have to like lean over and just pee outside of the...
Yeah, I remember that. The first time you told me we were driving around Black Forest for no reason. And I'm gonna tell this story. You're turning red. Camera, get it on camera.
Oh no.
And he's like, Kelly, pull over. I was like, what? It's like the middle of the freaking night, bro. It was like 10:30. What were we doing?
I think we were driving around seeing lights or something.
Christmas lights or something. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, pull over to this dirt road. I gotta go. And I was like, okay. And you did it.
And you're like, how? And I said, I have to go. You don't understand.
You were like, now.
I have to go now.
I was like, all right.
Yeah, those are some of the things I consider on road trips and travel in cars. Also, like, it's something to be said about the size of the vehicle.
Yeah.
Because my wheelchair is a box frame, so it's pretty compactable, and you can fold the back down so the frame will be like a box, and then you can pop the wheels off. And then put them next to the wheelchair in the trunk. So it's pretty compactable, but still I need to consider size of the trunk, whether we're going to have enough room, all of that.
Yeah, because we need room for our snacks and all those kinds of things.
We like to have a lot of snacks.
Yeah. So I think the longest road trip we took was to the Grand Canyon, right?
Grand Canyon.
The Grand Canyon. We went to New Mexico, which was really fun. Me, Josiah, and my dog Andrew, or Andros, as we've been. I knew I was gonna make you laugh when you had soda in your mouth. Sorry. We recently been calling him Andros and Andres.
I think he likes it though.
Oh, he loves it. So then we went to the Grand Canyon, which is interesting because before we traveled there, just like Bryce Canyon, you have to do research to make sure it's accessible, and we have to know which parts are accessible, right? Mm-hmm. We can't just show up and be like, yeah, bro, let's kick it. We can't.
Remember when I thought we could wheel the whole thing?
Oh my God. This man was like,
what the heck?
We were at the Grand Canyon and he just starts wheeling away. And I'm like, bro, I'm tired. What is going on? Realizing I'm going to have to push you back because you're going to get tired. And then you're like, we're going to go all the way around. And I was like, Josiah,
like, come on.
The Grand Canyon is like 1 billion trillion miles all the way around. You didn't recognize that.
And I was like, what?
You were ready. I loved your attitude. You're like, YOLO. I'm like, we didn't have water.
And then Andrew got really sick.
Mm-hmm. He did. That was a good trip, though.
Because he ate all his. Where is he?
He's over there
ate all
somewhere.
his food.
Yeah. So
when he wasn't supposed to.
But you also get backaches.
Yeah,
a lot.
but you do too.
I do too, but for different reasons. I have many places of scoliosis and disintegrating disc disorder and like all these kinds of fun things from sports and being born weird. But you can't really stretch your muscles like I can. So
yeah,
and my legs too. I can stretch my legs. You can't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I have to be conscious of that during road trips, and I would say you do too. It's just. Two people in pain doing road trips.
We use like a bottle of Tylenol like the whole time. But we know when each other is in pain. We just look at each other like
no, because I go like this. And when I'm doing
do that. Put that face in the camera right now. Do it.
What I'm doing right now is being quiet because I one day I'll be like, so Kelly, blah 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 blah, and then
I'll be talking to you. I'll be talking about something, and you'll be like.
And then what? you know.
I'll be like, oh, I know.
When Josiah is in pain.
Yeah.
You have this little back pillow thing, and then when you start squirming, that's when I know we gotta do something for you.
Well, let me just but expand on our Grand Canyon story. After the Grand Canyon, we went to the Four Corners, which was super lame because it closed at like 4:45. Who closes at a weird time like that? Like, so we didn't even, and you had to pay to get in. You have to pay to get in and see like a plot of land. Like, no. So we just yeeted past and we went to the sand dunes. Tell everybody how that went.
It was great. I don't know what you're referring to. So when we were driving to the sand dunes, it was very majestic and I was blown away. And then I got an idea in my head. Hey, I can climb up this.
By the way, these are the sand dunes in Alamosa, Colorado.
Yeah, they're for context, they're called the Great Sand Dunes.
They're the biggest sand dunes in America.
Like the Great Wall of China.
Yes.
I thought I could climb it, but as we got closer, and I love you very much, and then you always like reality check me in a way and be like, Josiah, you can do a lot of things, but if you're looking to climb them, that's going to take a lot of planning.
Yeah.
Because guess what, Kelly? I couldn't even get to the sand dune.
You couldn't even get to
in
the
my
first
wheelchair.
dune.
I was like, what the heck?
He's like, I want to climb the tallest dune. I'm like, bro, what do you mean? You have no gear.
I have to get gear. I have to get like sand wheels. If that's a thing. Like I couldn't even propel myself to the sand dune.
Right. From the parking lot to the first dune, how many yards is
And I
that?
wouldn't even say I got a quarter to the sand
Dude,
dune.
no, you didn't even get to the first dune.
I got like, what, 10 feet, 15 feet maximum? And I was like, oh, I cannot.
But you tried.
I tried.
I have it on video too.
That's the thing. I
You
was a little
wheeling
bit
through the
mad at
sand.
myself.
And the sand is fluffy. It's not hard.
I probably could have crawled there.
Yeah. Next time. But we had a
Next
rental car, I think.
But yeah, we were punching the clock.
Mm-hmm.
Next time, baby.
Next time. You'll get it. I believe in you.
I think we could do it together.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that together?
No.
Thank you for your honesty.
You're welcome. So what else? Traveling wise, we have trains.
I guess the last thing is like trains, shuttles, buses, all of that.
How do you ride a bus?
Well, they have to have the ramp, the portable.
Yeah.
that ramp.
Yeah.
They have to be accessible. Not all of them are accessible. I will say Colorado Springs is getting better. Colorado in general, Denver too, Castle Rock, they're getting better with accessible ramps and accessible buses. But that is something that I consider. I put it under miscellaneous or public because I also have to consider trains, and we've discussed trains before. But there are just things as a wheelchair user with traveling that I have to consider. Not to say that I can't get over the lip for a train or can't figure out my way on a bus, but like there are some things accessibility wise that I consider, such as so if you see on Fury, she has two little hooks for carabiners and straps.
Yeah.
So those are wheelchair straps. And they're usually on buses to secure Fury, because sometimes my brakes are not enough to keep me in a position. So those are some things that I consider. We already also talked about like Fury's foldability and that she's a box frame. And so these are things that I consider when I'm doing cars or in cars, on planes or on trains or whatever.
Have you ever taken like that weird little train up the incline up Pikes Peak?
No.
I wonder if you can get on that thing. Probably.
We gonna find out.
Oh, we should go. They just rebuilt it.
We gonna find out, everybody. And then also,
What about boats? Do you get on boats?
I've never been on a boat.
What? Have you ever been on a jet ski?
No.
An ATV?
Yes.
Oh my God. I'm going to take you jet skiing. Wait, I don't know. You might be a little too reckless.
I love the water, and you
I
don't.
know, but you're crazy driver.
Then I'll say hi to the sharks.
There's no sharks here in Colorado.
Like, hi. Hi, Bruce.
Hi, Bruce. Fish our friends.
From
not
Finding Nemo.
food.
Come on.
What's next?
So with all of that, public, air, and ground travel, these are just some generic things that I consider as a wheelchair user. The nearest exit, which is what freaks me out the most on a plane, but I always have to locate the nearest exit when I'm on a plane or a train or something. And if anything was going to go down, if we had double engine failure, anything like that, I have to find what's my nearest exit. In emergency situations, I know they tell you we have the flotation device or the mask, and like, how do I put that on in a rush? All of those things that I consider, because my body, I'm built different. so like, yeah, I have to time adjust for that, and like my body moves differently.
Have you ever been to like an airport or a train station or whatever where their elevator didn't work?
No.
That's good. That's awesome.
Yes. And that's the next thing I want to talk about is I always locate accommodations, whether that be ramps, elevators, accessibility door buttons, anything like that. Any accommodations that I think I would need. Also alternative routes, which is what I want to talk about. There's an accessibility feature on maps, on like Google Maps or
cool.
Apple Maps, that will show you accessible routes, accessible restaurants, accessible rest stops, all of that. So that's a relatively new feature. Shout out to Maps for that. So that is something that I utilize quite a lot, because I'm going to tell you a story of when I had to use this. So during my senior year of college, I was able to go on a New York trip during Jan term, and we called it New York DC Media Impact, because I was a journalism major, and so we had to go to New York and DC. But before we could do that, my professor who was leading the trip had to literally map out all of the accessible subway stations and trains and whatever we would take, and he and I put a lot of work into that, because he called me in and was like, listen, these are the routes we're gonna have to take to get where we need to go, to meet with the people we need to meet with. And that was really awesome. But that's some of the work that I'm talking about, that we and I as a wheelchair user have to do.
Yeah, like I think you said this in the Everyday Tasks episode about like you can do everything the same. It just takes more time and more preparation. Yeah. More planning. Essentially.
But that technology is now available. And it wasn't before.
Right.
And so we had to map out. So we, instead of going on 11th Street or whatever, we had to cut all the way to 16th and get to the next accessible subway station.
Oh, interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, so we had to map everything out. And my professor did a lot of that by himself.
Shout out.
And then he called me in and was like, here's the plan.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Because he accepted me on the trip, and I believe, I don't want to float my boat here, but he accepted me first.
Ooh. First.
Maybe, allegedly. I don't know. But I was one of the, because I was an early applicant.
Mm-hmm. I'm not surprised. Mm-hmm.
So these are some of the things I consider. Also, wheelchair angles.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm needing to get through a doorway or whatever, I have to consider whether I'm downhill, whether I'm uphill, because I'm going to fall.
Yeah.
If I'm unbalanced, or if Fury is unbalanced in any way, we're going to fall. So I consider wheelchair angles. Often the shuttle up to Red Rocks, that's a incline.
Mm-hmm. What is your least favorite thing about traveling, aside from the money that it costs to travel nowadays?
The monies.
No.
We need more money.
Concerning your CP and your disability.
The pain.
The pain. Yeah, sucks.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
But we always have our trusty, not sponsored, ibuprofen.
Oh, I thought you were going to say alcohol, but yeah.
No.
We don't drink. I was just kidding. We don't drink.
We're not drinking right now. You're not drinking
I'm
right
not
now.
drinking right now.
I shouldn't say that about me.
Well.
I'm of age. Leave me alone. Another thing I wanted to talk about, and then I promise you can talk about what you wanted to talk about, because we have something very special planned.
Yes.
But I want to ask you, what has been your favorite place that we've been together so far? Mm-hmm. And then also, what is a bucket list place for you and I to go together?
My favorite place that we went together was Anaheim, for obvious reasons. Recently. Because of the whole, like, everything about that scenario was just everything that I wanted in life. So, I know, you can cry. It's okay.
Oh my gosh, I didn't.
That was like literally aside that it wasn't my favorite album from Thrice, but it was everything I've ever wanted. Like my two besties, shout out to Victor. He doesn't even know he's on this podcast, but we've shouted him out a lot of times. And you. Plus I saw my bestie Cynthia, shout out Cynthia, in Anaheim to see my favorite band playing one of my favorite records front to back. Like, come on. And I love Anaheim. I've seen Thrice in Anaheim before. I love it.
Let's move to Anaheim.
No. So yeah, I think Anaheim, closely followed by Orlando. Orlando was fun.
Okay.
We're going to Orlando this summer again.
Going to Jacksonville.
Oh yeah, you're right. My bad. Florida.
Because Yellow Card is from Jacksonville. Okay. Mine was the Grand Canyon for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
It was a bucket list item for me. That was right before COVID. It was so beautiful, so majestic. We didn't die. Like, that was amazing.
I filmed that whole trip.
Yeah,
I should share it.
It was incredible.
Mm-hmm. I filmed a lot of our stuff that I just don't share. I should probably share.
They don't call it grand for nothing.
No.
Also, listeners,
it blew your mind when you saw it. You were
I was like, what the heck?
You literally said, what the F, really loud in front of a bunch of people.
I know.
It was hilarious.
I'm trying to swear less.
But it was so funny. Because that's what it's like when you first see the Grand Canyon.
I know.
And then you continue to try to wheel around it. But other than that,
I thought I was going to make it too. That's the funny thing. Is like, I can do this.
I love your attitude.
And I was like, and then you were like,
I'm like, all right, see you later.
And you said, I can't even do this with Andrew right now.
Right.
Bucket list place.
Bucket list place. Oh, I didn't even think about that. I would love to, with you or just like me in general?
With me. It's a podcast about you and me.
I change.
It changes?
I would go to Japan with you.
Japan?
I think that is one of... I would love to see the Japanese gardens. I know you're from South Korea, but I just think it would be really cool to go with you. What about you?
We can go to Japan.
Japan?
We can see Tokyo and the Gundams.
And what about you?
I would go...
Denver.
I'd probably go to Castle Rock. I'm going to be honest with you. The outlet malls in Castle Rock are pretty
Those
sick.
are fire.
Those are fire. But I would love to go to South Korea. With you. I just want to go there in general, but going there with my best friend will be like an experience that I will not forget.
We can go to Korea. I've got a friend out there.
Who? Me?
No. No.
I'm your only Asian friend.
I know, but she teaches English.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Is she cute?
Yeah, she's cute.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Is she married?
No.
Okay.
All right.
Does she have a boyfriend?
Oh my God.
Is she dating?
We're getting off topic here.
All right.
I'll tag her in this Instagram video.
This is a conversation off the record.
Okay.
You can cut this.
All right, cool. Okay. So now getting to the part where we talk about our first trip and what I was worried about and what I was really nervous about. I tried my best to play it cool, but in reality, I was kind of freaking out.
This is the part where you run away.
No. So our first trip was St. Louis, Missouri. Of all places in the world, it was St. Louis. And you guessed it, guys. We went there because our dear friends, Story of the Year, were playing shows.
I love that we call them our dear friends.
They are our dear friends.
We should update the listeners. They liked our story.
They did. Oh my God. I
gosh.
forgot. Yes, I forgot about that. They saw our story on our Instagram, the Roller and the Stroller pod, and they liked it.
When we dropped an episode the same day their album came out.
Yeah.
And so we tagged them in our story and they liked it.
Mm-hmm. Josiah texted me right away and sent me a picture.
Yeah. Back to what you were saying.
Sorry. Story of the Year hadn't played in a really long time. So they were playing 3 nights in a row. They think they were playing Page Avenue, Black Swan, and then Page Avenue again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or were they playing in the Wake? I don't think they were playing in the Wake.
They were not playing in the Wake.
So Josiah, we worked at the same place at the time, and he was like, yo, we need to ask our boss if we can have the same days off, which at the time it was not allowed that Josiah and I have the same days off because we were each other's backup. However, shout out to our boss. We're actually seeing her in like 30 minutes. Oh my God, we got to hurry up and end this. We're going to a movie. And so she was like, fine. And then we went, and my biggest concern was like, I didn't understand how, first of all, getting you on DIA's train, that freaked me out because anybody that has ridden that train at DIA knows that thing whips. It goes so fast. And like, if you are not holding on, I can't tell you how many people I've seen fall on that train because it's so fast. And that's what I was really worried about, was you rolling away down the train. And then like bowling, essentially like knocking down a bunch of people like at Snoop Dogg.
Yeah,
and
but
so,
I didn't.
You didn't. But the reason why is because we didn't even take the train.
Nope.
The train.
We took the bridge.
This is Jesus looking out for Kelly's anxiety here. The train actually broke, and during that trip, remember? And we were so scared because we almost missed our flight because the train wasn't working, and to get to the other terminal, we needed to take the train. But then somebody from the airport was like, hey, if you're down for a really long walk and roll and stroll, you can go across the bridge, which is what we ended up doing. And now when we go, I like to do the bridge still because I do not like that train with you. But when we take the train, I feel a lot more comfortable because I just lock my feet under your wheels.
And because I have
muscles. But that was my biggest concern, was the train, because it is not slow. It's super fast. And then I was really nervous about where we sit on a plane because I was you nervous that you would have to go to the bathroom and how that would work. You haven't had to go to the bathroom yet with me on the, well, not with me, but like while I'm with you on the plane. And so, but that was another one of my concerns was how that works. And I think my biggest frustration now when we travel is like, it doesn't make any sense to me where they put you on the plane. I would always think you would be like at the very front or like at obviously a window seat.
Well, it's just the seats that we buy, right?
I know, well, but it still doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm just talking ignorantly here, but
no, they should have accommodation seating.
Yeah, they should have like, I feel like they should have a row or a few seats that are next to the bathroom or at the window. Because it's always kind of weird when you're on the aisle and then the person in the window has to wait because you have to get off the plane last. So I don't really understand that. Like, because when you buy your tickets, you check that you're in a wheelchair. But I don't know. Again, I'm really ignorant to this and I'm not like upset about it or like casting any like blame towards anybody, but I just don't really understand. And that's still something I struggle with. It's like, I don't get it. And I just don't say anything because everybody on the airplane is so nice. The pilot last flight was so cool.
During the flight to Anaheim?
Yeah, no, the flight back from Anaheim. He was so cool. Remember, he was like, the aisle chair wasn't getting back in time and he was like, I'm going to go get it myself.
Yeah.
He was so tight.
And I was like, I don't know what you can do, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, everybody's super nice, but I just don't really understand the seating.
Do we want to be in the way back or the way front?
I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I just don't understand why you are not near a restroom or like also not in the window seat.
I just have to wear diapers.
Yeah, I'll get you some for Christmas. The next thing that I was worried about is like when I travel in airports, I always am so fast. I'm a very fast traveler. I have zero patience. And I can navigate really well. I can navigate airports extremely well.
You're not directionally challenged?
I'm really good at it. And so I was just kind of nervous about like, there's so many escalators. So DIA is beautiful. They have so many elevators, which I absolutely love. But going to an airport that I'm not familiar with, sometimes I'm just like, oh, what's going to happen?
We're screwed.
We're going to yeet you down the escalator.
It would be a real Sam and Frodo situation where you're like, I can't carry it for you.
Oh my God.
But I can't carry you. Oh, keep that in.
Yeah. And then again, like you said, the rental car, I have to make sure it accommodates your wheelchair, but also I have to make sure that I don't hit your wheelchair on the rental car and cause scratches because then I have to pay for that.
Yeah,
right?
because Fury is titanium. So
Yeah.
that means she's stronger. She can damage, scratch cars or whatever.
So when I was renting a car in St. Louis, I just had to make sure that it accommodated your wheelchair.
Whoa.
Yes. Then there's always the hotel that we have to worry about because you like a specific hotel, like a specific accessible room, right?
The rooms are wider. Their doorways are wider for my chair. My chair is 32, so the accessible rooms are often 36 or more, which is really nice. It's more open area, so the space between the beds is more open.
Yeah.
Whatever. And that's not to say like I need a seat in the shower or something like that, but it's just more open. All of that stuff. The accessible rooms often have that.
So obviously my first time traveling with you, that was another one of my fears was like, oh, I hope this hotel, like I'm unfamiliar with the city. I had only been to St. Louis once and I took the trains everywhere. So I didn't know what it was like. And then obviously the hotels, I have to make sure that like there's enough room for you. So, but I would say my biggest fear or my biggest concern honestly was the train at DIA. And then I was like, oh my God, is there a train at other places?
But we did not have to take the train. Do you want to tell the story about the hotel in St. Louis?
Didn't we take a train in Orlando?
I think we did.
That train was fire.
Scoot.
I don't know. Should we talk about the weird hotel in Orlando or in St. Louis?
Yeah, it was my fault.
Yeah, go ahead.
Travelers, whether you're in a wheelchair or not, just be wary of like, I don't know, deceiving photos online.
Yeah, don't say the hotel name.
Reviews. I know.
Okay.
Reviews. Anything like that that may potentially be a marketing scheme or deceiving in some way. Yeah. Go with a name of a hotel that you know.
Pay the extra.
Familiar with.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be sleeping there. Sleep well. before and after a concert.
Yeah.
That's all we'll have to say.
Yeah. Oh, you're not going to tell them like what was wrong with the hotel?
Black mold.
Black mold
Black mold,
everywhere. Spider webs.
Not wheelchair accessible.
No, the
Even though I
lights
double
didn't
checked
work.
that before I booked it. The lights would flicker.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the walls were thinner.
I'm pretty sure there was a drug deal above us. I'm just going to say that. And we got out of there real quick.
And I said, Kelly, I'm sorry. I messed this up.
The springs were like
book the
coming through the mattress, bro. The springs were like poking through the mattress.
I was like, how are we supposed to sleep?
And then the door hit you so hard you fell out your wheelchair.
I know, the front door?
Yeah. And I cried.
I know, that was the first time.
And then we went to a really nice hotel.
Yeah, we did.
Traveling though now with you is so easy because I know what to expect. I was really interested about the aisle chair. I was like really confused why you had to tag your wheelchair, but I get it now. I try to make sure we both go to the bathroom before we hit the flight because
sometimes I have to poop. We should keep that.
yeah, sometimes you do. That's what the human body does.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you have any final thoughts?
No, I like traveling with you. It always teaches me things.
You like it?
I do be liking it.
You like it?
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say I love it because we're both in pain.
That's true.
But no, I do love it. I'm just kidding. We always have fun. It's always concert related except for the Grand Canyon.
The Grand Canyon was really special for me because you knew that was on my bucket list. You wanted to go because I wanted to go.
Yeah.
And that was like...
And it was Martin Luther
when
King.
we became
Martin
besties.
Luther King Jr. Have you seen that video? Martin Luther King Jr. What'd he do? He died for our sins.
She was so
She was so funny. But yeah, it was that weekend. Right before COVID, and then we got locked in forever. So
the world was never the same.
It was not.
Kelly,
yeah.
What is your musical reference?
I knew you were gonna ask that. My musical reference is gonna be "The Earth Will Shake" by Thrice. Oh yeah, if my camera hasn't died yet, these are a bunch of my Thrice albums. But yeah,
that's all of them.
No, it's not. I don't have major minor.
Oh, major
hey, if anybody wants to sell me the major minor,
gift us the major minor.
I need that album.
Sell them.
I will.
We are gifting.
I want to buy it. I don't have it. Major minor record. I need it.
Who do just gift it to
I'll trade you a full Alchemy Index set plus a beggar set.
She will trade you palms.
Oh my god.
Justice for palms. Am I right, Dustin?
You were gonna ask me which album I prefer over Artist in the Ambulance and To Be Everywhere is to Be Nowhere.
Which album?
Oh, I'm gonna get
really important.
so much hate for this, but To Be Everywhere is to Be Nowhere. I'm gonna get so much.
You heard it here first.
Oh no. Okay, we're ending. We gotta go to a movie in 20 minutes.
What time is it?
It's 7:11.
Okay, bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Roller and the Stroller. My name is Josiah. I have been your resident roller.
And I'm Kelly, and I'm your stroller. Bye.
Peace out. Thank you for listening to The Roller and the Stroller podcast. We're rolling out.
This is a Sidewall Studios production.
Boom! Oh, we should keep that moving.